clear you're right in that prediction. Here is another email. Recently, radio talk show host Michael Savage was banned from traveling to England. While I may or may not agree with Mr. Savage, I'm very concerned that he was banned from travel due to his views. He is one of the few radio hosts to realize the danger of Islamist terrorist threats. What does your guest think of this, and why have very few radio talk show hosts come to Savage's defense?
Well, I think a lot of other hosts haven't come to his defense because, as you say, a lot of other fellows don't particularly like him. But it's something to do with that. And I learned this the hard way up in Canada when I had my human rights cases. I discovered, which wasn't a big surprise, there are a lot of people who don't like me. But that's all the more reason to actually stick to the principles on these issues. Because if you don't believe in free expression for people you loathe, you don't believe in it at all. And what's disgusting about this case is that the British government just sort of banned Michael Savage out of the blue. He had no plans to visit Britain. He had no plans to buy a ticket to Heathrow at all. They just kind of looked around the world and decided to ban him. He's a guy, he's not broadcast in Britain, nobody knows who he is in Britain, they just decided to ban him. And in effect, Her Majesty's government was imposing an ideological test. When you look at what the statement of the Home Secretary, a ghastly woman called Jackie Smith, actually said, she was essentially banning him from visiting Britain for a week-long vacation because of his opinions. That's not something that in the normal conduct between friendly states like America and Britain, where you don't need visas or to pre-apply to visit countries. The first line in my Canadian passport says Her Majesty's, it's something like Her Majesty's Minister for External Affairs requests and requires whosoever sees this passport to let the bearer pass without law or hindrance. In other words, although it's your discretion who you admit to your country, there's a convention between friendly neighbors that you admit without criminal convictions or other things. You just admit them all. And the idea of actually seeking out and banning Michael Savage is disgusting and shames Britain. And that's not to say anything about Michael Savage other than that he should have every right to visit the United Kingdom when he wants to.
Now, let me say here to that as another radio talk show host. I've been quite dismayed at this. And as for Savage, though he appears on another radio station, not this one, I say that though he's sometimes rather loose in his commentary and quite intense, far more intense than I would ever be, I think he's got much insight into the way the world works, and I think, as a matter of fact, on these matters concerning Islamization of Europe, he fully agrees with you, Mark.
Well, I think the thing about Michael Savage is he's his own man, and I like that actually in a person. You may disagree with them, but I don't. I think in the case of Michael Savage, he has developed his own views and his own rationale for those views, and he has never said any. And this is where it gets absurd. By the way, he's one of the most listened to. He's one of the most listened to broadcasters in the United States. So if he is too dangerous to admit to the United Kingdom, Her Majesty's government is basically saying that all those millions of people who listen to Michael Savage are accomplices in whatever offense he's guilty of. So if they were to take their own stupid, posturing idiocy seriously, they'd also be wanting to ban millions and millions of people who listen to Michael Savage every night and, by and large, agree with him. This is an absurdity, and as I said, it does not shame Michael Savage. It shames the government of the United Kingdom.
With that, a last pause, a quick round of commercials, then back to